I took this pile of metal and I built a rooftop deck for my school bus. Once it was completely done, I invited some buddies along and we went on a cross-country road trip. We saw a bunch of cool things, but that's a video for another day. Today, I'm gonna show you how I built the rooftop deck. So here's the plan. Well, not exactly a plan. I didn't have a plan coming into this, but these are my general ideas before I started the project. I also had the artistic capabilities of a 12-year-old, so please bear with me, but if you can't, just skip ahead to the building portion. So the main idea was to keep it about 9 foot 6 inches because, well, McDonald's drive-thrus are 9 foot 6 inches. So right here is the first problem that I ran into. Other than not being able to draw a straight line, the actual plan was screwed up. My first idea was to keep the opening on the left side so the ladder would be out of the way, but then I was thinking to myself, what if one of my buddies is climbing up here, a little tipsy, and he goes off to the left? Kind of screwed, and it's a bad look for everybody. So I scrapped that plan and then decided to just put it right down the middle. If you fall off to the right, you can catch yourself, and same thing if you fall off to the left. Everybody's safe, everybody's happy, everyone's having a great time. Well, that was the only planning I did, so it's time to start building. I started by making this first corner square and I threw a couple tack welds down to make it look like I knew what I was doing, but this is my first time really welding something, so feel free to roast me in the comments. For a first weld, I don't think it looks that bad, but I'm sure that there's someone out there that can do it better. And then I called my buddy AIDS over to help finish with the welding, just so it would go a little bit quicker. Aiden grabbed some more metal, slapped it in the middle, and then we measured from corner to corner to make sure everything was square. Gave the thumbs up and it was time to start welding. Once we got the extra supports in, we wanted to throw it up on the roof to make sure everything lined up perfectly to the ribs of the bus. And it did, so we got back down and Aiden did a little happy dance. And then we decided to put one more support right down the middle. And I'm not an engineer, but I thought putting the supports down the middle was not a good idea, so we offset it much like a brick wall. Here's where my plan comes into effect. I got these little nubs set up for the railing, so we're gonna put a railing on the left and the right, and then this open space in the middle that I'm pointing at is right where the ladder is gonna go. And this little railing is gonna go all the way around the deck, kind of like a roof rack to make sure nothing falls off. And here's a video of me cutting metal. This corner slid in smoother than your girl in my DMs. And here I am going around tack welding again just to make it look like I know what I'm doing, even though I have no clue what's going on. After I let the tack weld simmer for 5 minutes or until golden brown, I came back and laid a fat weld on top. At this point, the frame is getting kind of heavy, so I recruited my brother and my roommate Kevin to help lift it up. This was the final check just to make sure everything fit properly. And then we took it back down and I started welding the legs. I also added 2 more supports to the back side that's hanging over the side of the bus. I'm about to explain in great detail what I have to do to prep this for paint.
Well, slap some of this on there.
Yeah, that was it. I just slapped it on, rubbed it down, and a bunch of this nasty stuff came off. And then I brought it back inside to finish up with some paint. Both AIDS and Kevin were gone at this point, so I had to bother my brother and my dad to help me out. My dad and I lifted it and got it on the roof for the last time. If you're still watching, you're probably wondering, how am I going to secure it? And I'm going to show you. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to take some angle iron. From the side view it looks like this. Where these arrows are, I'm going to put a self-tapping screw through the bottom and then through the side, attaching it to the deck. There's going to be a longer angle iron on the top of the bus that secures the middle support. Once that piece is in, we're going to lay the deck down on top and then put a self-tapping screw through the side wall of the angle iron into the deck. And after that's done, we still got to secure the legs. So I'm going to take a smaller piece of angle iron and do the same process. This is a general sketch-up of what it's going to look like, but I got to do this 3 times because there are 3 separate ribs that I'm going to be drilling into. I don't know if I explained this earlier, but this is what the ribs on the bus look like. Basically, it's the steel square tubing that supports the entire bus. So in other words, it's a very sturdy spot to secure my deck. Here's a live look of what this angle iron looks like when I'm about to attach it to the legs. The screws are going to go in here and then in through here. I had to make this angle iron curve to the shape of the bus, so I made a couple cuts and then beat it with a hammer until it worked. And it worked out alright. We just had to repeat it 6 different times. And then it was finally time to slap my wood on the deck. I just had to make a couple cuts to make sure everything fit. Once I got all the boards cut, I had to dodge the rain to make sure I can get everything sanded and stained. Normally I'd use a rag to do this, but I thought a paintbrush would be a little bit quicker. Once all the boards were dried, my buddy David came over and he helped me get all the boards onto the deck. To secure the boards, I just pre-drilled through the wood, through the metal, and then put a decking screw through it. And here's the final product, after driving 13,000 miles because I forgot to take a video before I left.